Hi everyone, this is Casey from Spectar Designs. Today we're going to be creating a pure CSS drop-down menu in Dreamweaver. This is a preview of the menu we're going to be making. It's very simple and easy to make. So let's get right to it. So the first thing we're going to do is open Dreamweaver, and for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to be using a file extension of PHP. This isn't really necessary for you. If you like, you could use a file extension of HTML. And if you're going to be using a file extension of PHP alongside with me, you're going to have to define a testing server for your site. This is very easy, and I'm going to go through the steps of defining the testing server for your site. So the first thing you're going to need to have is a testing server on your system. Now, my testing server is XAMPP. So I've started XAMPP, I started Apache and MySQL. So the next thing I'm going to have to do is go to my computer, local disk C, XAMPP, htdocs, and create a folder in htdocs. Now, I've already created a folder in htdocs. My folder is called css_dropdownmenu. So after creating the folder, you go back to Dreamweaver and click on Dreamweaver site. Now give this site a relevant name that concerns the project you're working on. I'm going to be calling this drop-down menu. And after that, I'm going to click on this folder icon here and select that folder I just created in htdocs. To do this, I'll go to local disk C, XAMPP, htdocs, and select that folder, css_dropdown menu. Select. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to servers. When I'm in servers, all I have to do is click on this plus sign. In the basic tab, change unnamed server 2 to localhost. Change FTP to local/network. The server folder should be the folder you just create. When you click on this folder, it's automatically going to select the folder you created. So click on select folder. And for the web URL, we're going to put localhost / copy the folder name here and paste it here. Then after this, what we do is go to the advanced tab. Under server models, we select PHP MySQL, and yes, we're good to go. We click on save. Now you see this dialog box. The next thing you do is you uncheck remote and check testing server, then click on save. Good. After that, you see that your name of your site automatically appears here in the files panel. So what we're going to do now is, this is your site folder. We create a folder in it, and this folder is going to be called CSS. So new folder, we're going to call it CSS. Then we're going to create another folder, and I'm going to call this folder images, IMG. After that, creating two folders, I'm going to create my file itself that I'm going to be working with, and this file is going to be called menu.php. Very good. So I'm going to double click on menu.php to open it. This is it. If you've reached this point of the tutorial, you've successfully created a local testing server for your Dreamweaver site. So the next thing I'm going to do is create the CSS files that I'm going to be working with in this tutorial. So I'm going to click on the CSS folder here, create a new file, and I'm going to call this file menu.css. Menu.css. Enter. And I'm going to be creating another new file, and I'm going to be calling this file layout.css. Layout.css. Good. So the first thing we're going to do is, in the menu.php file, we're going to have to link the two CSS files that we just created to the menu.php file. Now, why I'm creating external CSS style sheets is because if I need to correct something on my menu bar and I need it to go across all the pages, I can't start creating it on individual pages, Because if I create it on individual pages, then if I make a mistake on the menu and I need to correct it across the whole site, then I have to start going on each single pages on my website, and that could be very, very troublesome. So the best thing for you to do is create external CSS style sheets and link it to your pages. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to link the CSS style sheets to my menu.php file. So to do this, just before the menu, the head closing tag, I'm going to do this link href browse. Automatically selects the folder you just created. I'm going to open the CSS folder. I'm going to first select layout.css. Okay. Fill style sheets and type is text/css. And I'm going to close this. That's very, very simple. If you've done this, you've successfully linked your layout.css file to your menu.php page. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy this, Ctrl-C, and I'm going to paste it underneath this. And what I do is just change layouts to menu. Very good. So after that, to know if what you did just work, you're going to see this layout.css and menu.css above beside source code. So this is good. We're good to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to layout.css. I'm going to begin styling my page. So the first thing I'm going to do is style the body. So body, open curly brace and close curly brace. I'm going to give it a margin and a padding of 0. Margin 0. So this is very good. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a background for my page. I'm going to give my page a background image. So in order to do this, I'm going to type background image, browse, go to my folder img, and select a background for it. You can use any background you like for your project, depending on what it is you're working on, but for purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to be using this background for mine. Okay, we're good to go. Good. And immediately you click on this other side. If you go to design view, you see that it has taken effect. So the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to have to create div tag. We're going to be creating a container div tag, and in order to do this, we're going to do open tag div id container. Good. And inside the container div, we're going to create our other div tags. Okay. The first div tag we're going to be creating is the header div. So div id equals header. Close this. The next one we're going to be creating is our menu div. So div id menu. So after we do this, if you go to design view, you immediately see this these dashed lines. Now these dashed lines are our div tags, and they are collapsing on each other. Why? Because we haven't styled them. So in order to do this, we're going to have to go back to layout.css and style our div tags. So the first thing I'm going to do is style the container tag. And in order to target this, I'm going to have to use the hashtag. So hashtag container. open curly brace, close curly brace. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to center this div tag. So in order to do this, I'm going to give it a margin left of auto and a margin right of auto. So margin left auto, margin right auto. Good. So after that, I'm going to give it a width. I'm going to give this a width of 1024. So width 1024 pixels. Yes. And the height, I'm just going to give it any height for now. Height 970 pixels. So after that, if you go to design view, we automatically see that our container div has been centralized. So this is good. I'm going to go back to split view and style my header and menu tags. So to do this, again, hashtag header, open curly brace, close curly brace. I'm going to give the header a height of IGHT. I'm going to give this a height of 110 pixels. Okay. I don't need to specify a width for the header again because it's automatically going to carry the width for the container since I created the header tag inside the container tag. So that's all for the header. Okay, I'm just going to give it a little bit of spacing in the middle, in between each tag, in between each CSS tag. So after that, I'm going to target the menu tag. Okay, the menu tag for this, hashtag menu. Open curly brace, close curly brace. I'm going to give this a height of GHC height. I'm going to give this a height of 60 pixels. I think that, yep, a height of 60 pixels. So I'm going to be creating a transparent background for the menu. So in order to do this, I'm going to be using the RGBA color type. So I'm going to select a background color of RGBA. I'm going to show you how I do this. Background color, background color, color. And what I do is select this arrow here, color format RGBA, then select black. Then after selecting black, I'm going to change 1 to 0.6. Now if you go to design view, we're going to see that it's transparent. Now depending on how transparent you want this the background of your menu to be, you play around with this number. So after this, I'm going to create, let me go back to the menu. I'm going to be creating this blue border we see under. So in order to do this, you come down, you type in border bottom, and I'm going to give it 4 pixels, space, solid, space, then color. I'm going to select a nice blue from this place here, blue, good, and if you go to design view, you see that it has taken effect here. So this is very good. split view. I'm going to go back to split view. Good. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is go back to source code. I'm going to have to insert my logo on the header. So I'm going to go to source code here. Then in the header tag, I'm going to insert an image. Insert image. Then I'll go to the img folder in my site folder. Select one of these logos here. Good. So that's very, very good. So immediately we've done that, go back to design view and you see that our layout is coming to life. We're actually making progress with our design. So I'm going to go back to split view, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'll start creating my menu. And in order to do this, I'm going to have to go to the menu tag. Okay, before I do, I'm going to give let me give a little bit of space. It's very, very good to give space, make your code neat and easy to read. So in case someone else wants to use your code, it's going to be easy for them to use. So try to learn how to space and create neat syntaxes. So what we're going to do is create a menu. For this, we're going to be using the HTML5 nav tag. To do this, we just open nav, close it. Inside the nav tag, we're going to create an unordered list. And to do this, we need to open another tag, ul, close tag. Good. Now we're going to be creating our menu items inside this. So the first thing we're going to do is open another tag for a list item. Now this list item is what is going to carry each individual items on our menu. So li, then href, browse. Since I'm not going to be linking this menu to anything, so I'm just going to give it a hashtag. So let's close this. Yeah. Yes, so done this, we've successfully created our first menu item. And in between here, just here, I'm going to type in home. If you go to design view, you notice that you see home there. So good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this code and paste it 4 times. What you see, it's copy. Ctrl V, I'm going to paste it 4 times. V, save time. So I'm going to change this to about us, services. I'm putting a plus sign beside services because services is the one that's going to have the drop down. Then contact us. Good. If you go to design view or you just click here, you see that you have successfully created the items that are coming into our menu. It's good. Okay, so we've gotten to this point. Next thing we're going to do is that we're going to have to style these items. So what we do is go to menu.css, and the menu.css, we're going to target our nav ul. Open curly brace, close curly brace. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a margin and a padding of 0. Margin 0, padding 0. So after that, we go to we target nav ul li. Okay, under this paste style type we're going to set this to none. And now this takes out the bullet points from the menu. So set a float to left. After that, display block. Good. After displaying block, we set a text align and set it to center. After that, give it a width IDTH. I'm going to give mine a width of 150 pixels. You can give yours whatever width you like. And I'm going to give it a height of 60 pixels, and I know this because the height of my menu div is 60 pixels. So height, I'm going to set this to 60 pixels. Okay, good. If you go to design view, we're going to notice that everything we've done has taken effect. So we go back to split view. I'm going to go back to split view, and in my menu.css file, I'm going to set a line height under nav URL. I'm going to set a line height of 55 pixels. I'm going to set a line height of 65 pixels, or 55 pixels, I mean. Okay, after doing this is going to move down our menu items in the menu bar. Good. You automatically see that they've been centered. Good. After doing this, the next thing I'm going to do is select a font family for my. I'm going to select a font family for my menu. So font family, and I'm going to select any one I like. I'm going to select the first one, the Cambria Hofla text. I'm going to select any one I like. So yes. Then I'm going to specify a font size. And I'm going to give my font a size of 18 pixels. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to target nav UL LIA. Nav UL LIA. Open curly brace, close curly brace. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this underlined here. And in order to do this, I'm going to set text decoration to none. So text decoration, I'm going to set this to none. This automatically takes out the underlines here. And after that, I'm going to give it a color of white. Hashtag FFF. Good. Very good. What we're going to have to do is, okay, after setting a color, I'm going to click on Ctrl S to save my file. Then I'm going to preview in browser, and I'm going to be previewing in Google Chrome. So good. So we have created our menu. Now if you notice something here, you can only click on a link by hovering around the text itself, and now this isn't really very professional. So to correct this, we're going to go to the nav URL LIA. and set display to block. So I'm going to save this, and immediately I refresh this page, you can see that I no longer need to hover around the text itself for me to click on the link. So I can click here, click here, click here. So this is very, very good. So I think I'm going to have to adjust the line height again. Okay, line height. Sorry. I'm going to give the line height a 60 pixels. Good. I think this is more centered now. Save all. And I'm going to go to the page and reload it. Good. I think it's more centered now. So the next thing we're going to have to do is good. So the next thing we're going to do is nav. We're going to say nav ULLI semicolon and hover. Good. Open curly brace, close curly brace. So after I've done this, the only thing I'm going to be doing here is giving it a background color. So I'm going to set a background color, and since the background color I used on my former file was transparent, I'm going to be using the RGBA color again. So I'm going to set a background color. And I'm going to give this, select this from color I selected before. This is the color I selected before. And I'm going to give those dots 5. And that's going to be the transparency of the effect. I'm going to save this. And I'm going to preview this in a browser. Google Chrome. So when I come to Google Chrome, what I do is you see immediately it takes effect here. Immediately. So after doing this, now we have to go straight to creating our drop down menu. So I noticed something here. I noticed that there isn't enough space between the logo and the menu, so I'm going to just go back to my layout or CSS and give the menu a margin top 10 pixels. Margin top, and give it a value of 10 pixels to create space. Save all. So now I'm going to reload my page to see that it has taken effect. Good. So 10 pixels has given it enough space between the logo and the menu. So the next thing I'm going to do now is create my drop-down menus. So in order to do this, the first thing I'm going to do is to click in between these two tags here, the closing tag of the A and the closing tag of the list item. I'm going to create space. And it's here that I'm going to create my drop-down menu items. So the first thing I'm going to do is create an unordered list, UL. Close this tag. Great. Then we're going to create individual list items for a drop-down. Now I'm going to be having 3 drop-downs. I'm going to name them services 1, services 2, and services 3. So list item, just going to give this a link of hashtag since I'm not linking this anywhere. Services 1, and close the list item. Good. So for purposes of saving time, I'm just going to copy this and paste it again. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and Ctrl V. So, or Command V on a Mac. So, so it's 2 and 3. So good. After we do this, if you go to design view, you automatically notice that you've created a drop down for the services. So split view, I'm going to go back to split view. I will save and preview this in a browser. Google Chrome. Good. Now, as I see my menu, I notice that the drop down menu appears there automatically, and I only want it to appear. I don't want this menu to appear when I hover around my services menu item. So what I do is that I'll have to come back to my menu.css and target the nav UL. So what I do is go to menu.css, going to close down the space a little bit, and create another line of code, and I'm going to call this nav UL. And now the only thing I'm going to do here is set display to none. Display, and I'm going to set this to none. So file, save all. When I come back to my browser and I refresh it, I automatically see that the drop down menu items have been hidden. Now I'll have to style it so that when I hover around my services link, you see the three drop down items, drop down menu items under the services. So I'm going to go back to Dreamweaver. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create another line of code and say, and give a little bit of space, nav ULLI semicolon over greater than UL. Good. Open curly brace, close curly brace. So after doing this, I'm going to, the only line of code I'm going to be putting in here is I'm going to set display to block, BLOCK block. Then after that, I'm going to come under it. I'm going to create a new line of code and target the nav ULLI. Open curly brace, close curly brace. Now this targets drop down menu items itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a height of 50 pixels. Height, IGHT, 50 pixels. And I'm going to give it a width of 150 pixels. 150 pixels. And I'm going to give it a line height. Line height of 50 pixels. Good. File, save all. Now I'm going to preview this menu in a browser. Google Chrome. So good. Now you see that we've successfully created this menu with nothing but HTML and CSS, a drop-down menu. Now that's it. We've come to the end of this tutorial. We created a CSS menu. Good. Now our drop-down works. When I hover around the services, it comes out, and that's all. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on this tutorial. I will do my best to answer any queries you guys have. Also feel free to go to our Facebook page and like it, Spectar Designs, and you can also make suggestions for future tutorials. Thank you for staying true and watching this tutorial. We'll also be creating more tutorials and be adding to our channel, so feel free to subscribe. Subscription is totally free, so you have access to our other tutorials. Thank you. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Please stay tuned for more tutorials, and from Spectar Designs, I'm Casey and I'm signing out.